Hi guys, Kevin here, and you should be able to see in the background that I am resetting my PC for the second or third time. And the reason I'm doing it for a few times is to try and clear all my data. So I'm returning my PC, what I've been calling my mystery PC. It was in fact a Chill Blast PC, but I bought it from CEX. Now I did a video a few days ago and I brought you up to speed and explained where I am just now. The PC has been fine, all the parts work, etc. But there was problems from the start. They delivered it a few weeks late, then they didn't deliver a power supply until a week later. But the current problem, and the one that I reported to them a week or so ago, is the fact that they installed Windows 10 Pro, but it wasn't validated. And after a week or so of emails, they sent me a Windows 10 home key. Now, I was very annoyed about this, and I'm sure you saw that in the video the other day. But they've come back to me and they've said that basically, tough luck, just return it. And they just kept saying, no, sorry, we don't have a Windows 10 Pro key, just return it, just return it. So they didn't offer, a substantial voucher to cover Windows 10 Pro or anything like that. They offered, eventually they said we could give you £10 for your inconvenience, which is just a waste of my time. So firstly, before I go on, thanks to all you guys that have given me advice on this. Without being too cheesy about all of this, I really do appreciate all the feedback that I've had from you guys. You've been really genuine. You've been watching the whole experience from buying the PC until now and giving me advice on what to do. And there's a lot of things that I'm quite knowledgeable about. There's a lot of things I have experience with. Building PCs is something I used to be quite good at in the past. I wouldn't say an expert, but I used to build my PCs all the time. But it's been 10, 11, maybe even 12 years since I've last built a PC. So you guys have given me some really good advice about the whole experience. And I really do appreciate it. Thanks, guys, because I've been reading more about it and trying to bring myself up to speed. I've missed a lot over the last years. I've just been lazy and just been buying laptops. So thanks, guys. Without being too cheesy, I really do appreciate it. And I do value all your contributions about all this. So I am returning the PC. And when I did the video a few days ago, I didn't think I would do that. So admittedly, when I did the video a few days ago about CEX taking my Windows key, I was a little bit frustrated. You could tell I was a little bit annoyed. I just received the email from them when I did the video, and I was a little bit annoyed about the situation. But I kind of took a step back and I thought, okay, don't be stubborn. What is the best situation for you? Because really this was a problem I could fix. Just go out and get a Windows 10 Pro key. As some of you said, you can get a Windows Pro key, a reseller key, for like £20-30 or whatever. But what this was really was an opportunity. It was an opportunity to return the PC and start from scratch. Now, I didn't want to go down that route initially. The reason being, it takes many hours to format a drive, reset all the data, reset the PC and all that. Do it properly anyway. It also takes time when you get the new PC to set everything up again. Now, I've got my laptop here and that has everything that I need for YouTube. So that's kind of all set up. So I just need to hook everything up again there so I can get back to working quite quickly. But, that was what was putting me off reselling. If I can talk properly, sending the PC back. That's what was putting me off doing that. Don't know why that chair is squeaking so much. So that was what was putting me back. But during the last few weeks, I've been learning more about PC building, and I've also been getting an understanding of what I want, what I need, and what I don't need. First off, the graphics card. This has a 1080 Ti graphics card. Retails about £700. It is an absolute beast of a card, and it's amazing. It really is amazing what this card can do. It's got 11 gigabytes of RAM. It is an absolute beast. Now, I'm not complaining about that, but what I initially wanted to do for you guys was to do a video, and I'm sorry I didn't have time, but I wanted to do a video where I did either a live stream or just a recorded video where I would basically show my task manager and show you how the graphics card was being used. And apart from playing a game at full res, I put on Project Cars 2, the demo anyway, just to try it out, and I put everything at high resolution, and the card was going at 100%. But in other situations, it wasn't really being tested. When I'm doing live streaming, when I'm doing a video and things like that, it was maybe using 10%, 20%. If I chose in OBS, I can choose the hardware encoder NVENC instead of software encoder. Well, it was testing the GPU a little bit more, maybe going to 40%, 50%. I tested a few things in Premiere Pro as well, whilst I was encoding a video, and you know, the 1080 Ti was only really going to like 10-15% when I was encoding a video. So basically, long story short, for what I do online, I don't really need that kind of powerful card. I really don't need that kind of card because it doesn't really help me in any way. I would benefit more from a CPU with more cores than I would with a graphics card like that. Now, it took me a while to get to that because I was almost lying to myself and trying to find reasons to justify keeping the card, because at first I was like, nah, there'll be something I'll use it for. But apart from gaming, there is no like productivity reason, no productive reason for me to keep that card. So I was leaning towards selling the card. I'd probably get about 500 or so for it. And if I was going to sell it for 500, well, maybe I'm as well just returning the PC, because there was other things about this PC that I wasn't unhappy about, but there was things that I wanted to change. First off is the case. It's okay. I mean, it's functional, but it's not the nicest case. It's just a big black box. It retails at about £31 in the UK, so it's not the most expensive case out there. A lot of the cases that I've looked at that I prefer with nice glass, things that are more customizable and things like that, they're retailing £90-100 more. So long term, I was looking to change the case. The other thing is that this actually has an M-ATX board. It has a micro ATX board rather than a full functional ATX board. Now, that isn't bad in itself. In fact, a micro ATX board is actually good in many ways because it means that I could build a smaller PC. What was stopping me from, changing the case and putting all the components into a smaller PC was the graphics card. The graphics card is so big that it needs a larger case. Without that case, I could actually build a computer with a mini ATX or a micro ATX. Well, that's what's in there just now. But I could get a much smaller case, something that isn't as so big and bulky. Now, if I was to keep a graphics card like that, or if I'm just happy with that size of case, then I'd probably lean towards getting a full ATX board. The reason being, with a micro ATX board, you do have to make some sacrifices because, well, all the components are, squashed into a smaller space. There's a couple of, maybe 2 or 3 less PCI Express card slots, for example. It tends to have less USB ports and things like that as well. So all of this was playing on my mind. The last few days as well, I've started looking at, okay, what do I need to get this to where I want it to be? Well, firstly, it needs more USB ports. Now, it does have functionality to add another 4 or 5 USB 3 ports, 3.0. But I was going to have to buy either a front panel or buy a PCI Express card to add 3.1 or something like that. I wouldn't be able to add Thunderbolt, but that's something that most motherboards struggle with. And there was other things. I mean, it doesn't have Bluetooth built in, doesn't have a Wi-Fi card built in, but most motherboards don't actually have that. Well, gaming ones anyway, the ones that I've looked at. So basically, a long story short, there were things about this that I wanted to change, and I realized that I was going to have to buy a PCI Express card with USB ports. I was going to have to buy maybe a front panel to add more USB ports. There was a lot of other things I was wanting to do, and I also wanted to change the case. So I was happy. The CPU is okay. The motherboard is okay, but there was things about it that I thought long term I would like to change. And going back to where I am with CEX, well, yes, it's very, very annoying having to reset the PC and go through it all again. It's very annoying having, they said I can send it back by post, but it actually ends up being more inconvenience than just going down to the shop and returning it, which is a pain because it's a couple of hours, to go down and wait for them to test it and all that. All of that's an absolute pain in the ass, but you need to look at the other side. The other side being, if I was to change lots of things in this PC, then ultimately at one point I'm going to have to, you know, sell the case. Perhaps even down the line, if I change the CPU, sell the CPU, sell the motherboard, sell all these other, sell the cards, sell the graphics card and things like that. So that would be time consuming as well. And ultimately what they've done, this situation wasn't ideal. They've wasted a lot of my time. They really have been a pain in the ass because they don't take, you know, telephone calls. A problem that can be resolved in minutes on a telephone call is being resolved in weeks and weeks and weeks. So this is like 3 or 4 weeks after I bought it that I'm returning it. But really what they've given me is a clean slate. They've given me a complete clean slate to take a step back again, look at what I want, look at what I need, look at the fact that I keep squeaking my chair. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's annoying the hell out of me. That's another thing I need as well. I need a chair. So where I am just now, but I'm going to return the PC. So I'll do a video with you guys, or even a live stream, and I'll look at the different options that I've got moving forward. But ultimately, I think if you break it down, where I am just now, they actually do have a couple of other PCs in CEX, and yeah, I'm a sucker for punishment, but they've got a gaming PC type of thing that's like £1,600 to buy, but they're selling it for $820. So there's a lot of savings to be made. But there's another one, it's actually a 6-core 6820K CPU, and you know, I'm looking at whether maybe that would be something to get as well. The alternative would be to buy my own case, buy my own motherboard and CPU, and you know, if I've got £500 credit there, maybe I could buy like the graphics card there, maybe I could buy RAM and an SSD or something there. Normally I'd prefer to buy an SSD new so that the drive is okay, but I do have options. All of that is something that I can tackle over the next week or so. I need to take a step back, look at what's the best option for me. But this isn't something that I've taken lightly. I think moving forward, this is the best decision for me. It's an absolute pain in the ass having to go through all this. But thanks again for everyone who gave me advice on this. But ultimately at this point, what they've done after, you know, messing me around for a few weeks is giving me a get out clause to start again. And it's a pain in the ass, but I think ultimately it's the best thing for me to do. Thanks for watching, guys. Please do let me know what you think about this. I know some of you may disagree. You might think it's the wrong decision. It's going to waste a lot of my time doing this, but moving forward, I think I can take a step back and get plan out what I want to do now. I've got the benefit of all this experience, if I take any positives from it, is that I now have a better idea of what I want and what I don't want from a system. So if I buy used, I know if I'm buying something, well, I'm going to swap that, I'm going to sell that. I'm looking for an SSD based system. I don't want a spindle drive in it because it's just more noise, and keep that for external storage. Ideally, I'd maybe want a system with more cores rather than a top-of-the-line graphics card. I will need a graphics card in there, probably. I mean, I could get away with integrated graphics, but I probably would get a graphics card, but I don't need a top-of-the-line one. 1080 Ti, for what I do, is absolute overkill because I mainly play old classic games, or I play my PlayStation 4, so it is overkill. Thanks again, guys. Please do leave a comment. Love to hear your thoughts on it, and I'll keep you all updated about what I do next. Take care.